Focus on the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down.
Testing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in January 14th, 2021, and the stock market is going to go crazy tomorrow. We're going to be getting some key economic data and guidance, and I think it's going to have a big effect, and I have 3 stocks to watch. Today was a very interesting day. You actually got Trump impeached again, and there was a lot of political drama. We were watching it on stream, but you also saw the bond market recover a little bit. So if you've been watching the watch list, we've been going over everything with bonds. This had a real effect, so you saw a nice little tech bounce, and this allowed the market to kind of bounce up a little bit. That's why all indexes were kind of mixed on the day. So we have a lot to talk about. I have everything that happened today, the plays for tomorrow, what we're looking at, and everything else. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, if you want to listen to a bunch of old guys argue with some young guys about GameStop, then yeah, we are the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad, baby. So right off the bat, like I said, the growth stocks got their bounce back today. The bond yields started to come down today, and that kind of eased some of these runaway inflation expectations we've been seeing. So think about the tightening the wheel analogy. This is going to be important. This is something we even talked about today. I really do think this is the economic side or the underlying features of the market that are really driving a lot of the moves that we are seeing. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on that. That's what we saw play out today. And then as far as tomorrow, we were expecting this at the beginning of the week, and now we are actually going to get it tomorrow, the Biden economic plan. So I'm going to speak on this a little bit, but we are also going to get some more economic related data to inflation. So we got the CPI today, and I believe the beige book. You should be getting a jobs report. I don't think that one's going to be as important. It's not like a non-farms payroll, but there is some weight to a lot of the data coming out now, where it's at least hinting and giving some backing to what we see happening with the dollar and bonds especially. So that's what we're going to be watching for tomorrow, and I'll even connect it. You know, there's a lot of people having expectations about what Biden is going to say. You even saw some China news happen today that was from the Washington Post on a rumor saying the Biden administration is probably going to allow people to invest in Baba JD, and that there's none of those military ties that would have excluded them. So we might even get confirmation of that as well as some other stuff, but we are going to be watching this live tomorrow, and that is where I think the response is going to happen. So I hope I see you guys on stream when we hear more about this. I'm really just going to be looking for surprises. You saw what's been happening with banks. We've been seeing a lot of stuff, you know, especially like energy. There's industries that have already been kind of expected, or who's going to be an expected winner or loser. So some of those industries and even the stocks might have that priced in. So I'm going to be watching to hear if there's any surprisers, or it seems that he's leaning in one direction more than the other, and it kind of shocks the option chain in the stock. I think we might be able to get some intraday plays that could relate to that intel that we had today. So that is what I'm going to be watching for. And then finally, you saw Trump get impeached today, but since McConnell is pretty much going to be delaying it and not choosing to vote just yet, you're not going to get a trial on that. So even if the Senate did agree with it and they decided to impeach Trump, you wouldn't even see that trial start till after Biden's presidency began. So focus on the guidance and focus on the economics, the bonds and everything else that's driving that, and then even the Fed later this month. So we have our work cut out for us tomorrow. I think it's going to be very, very exciting, so I hope you're ready, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, we have to talk about today's Intel play. This was a 3,000% gainer, and I am still holding one, so I'm still in this play. I want to watch for a continuation, but we really need to talk about what happened. We got those 5250s. I will go over the play, how we played it, and you could see, but this was a killer play highlighting the basics of what we always do. That being said, now it's a big gainer. You guys are seeing it, and I really want you guys to understand this and now use this as a motivation to slow down instead of speeding up and trying to chase one of these ponies. Oh, I want a pony. That is where that originated from. So please understand now, you only need one of these plays, less trades, more profit. So what I want to highlight, we talked about it on stream, is like, why did we get this play? How did we get this play? There is a lot of unique features that we did, and quite frankly, it was a news play. Intel was a slow mover, so when we saw some of the pops, we knew. We played the free share strategy, and then we even held either in the money or expiration. You also could have ghetto spreaded it if you did not take profit profits when we did, but this was a great play. So coming to the actual play here, you can see what we did. We bought this on December 29th, 12:28 p.m. You can see it here on the chart. We got 5 of the 5250 calls for January. So at this time, I had about 2 weeks of time, maybe 3, depending on the weird weeks we had. But I got 5 of them for 25 cents each, or $25. That is a $125 total investment. So this was the day it happened. And if you guys were on stream, we've documented it on the watch list as well. It's on the stream alerts, everything else. There was that news of that one outside fund, or I think it was like Third Point, saying that they wanted to advise strategic options with Intel. And maybe this ended up being that, where the CEO stepped down, and the market really did like that, because under this CEO, Intel did not really do good, and they lost a lot of their market share that they originally once held. So that is why the market took this up. You know, we even talked about this today. You saw Boeing, a similar piece of news. Sometimes you will see people step down, and it won't always lead to a stock pop. It really depends on how that CEO performed, who their replacement would be, and kind of how the market interprets their role within that company. So this is why we saw it pop, and that's the reason why we played it that day. If we come here even to the daily, you could even see it on the 14-day. There was that pop. So we got it at like 12:28. Kind of hard to see there on the timing, but that was a news play. I remember we were even watching something. We saw it pop up. We made the play again. This is one of those factors I'm talking about. We kept it small, $125. You didn't really need to go crazy. You know, think about the random account. That's why I'm saying you only need to hit one of these. And even though I didn't get the most time, you see what an extra week could do. We made sure we got more than just a week of time, and that's what accounts for some of these. And that's why we say usually either in the money or expiration. But now within like 6 minutes of that happening, it was the news. We got in early. That's why you're on stream, baby. It was able to go up a lot. I sold 2 of them at 80 cents, got my initial investment back plus some. So that's why we would be comfortable holding in the money or expiration. One, we're able to get our money back, but that doesn't supersede the first rule. By putting in a small amount of money, it's easier to hold these types of plays and get them to 3,000% gainers. You're not going as crazy putting $10,000, $5,000. Again, this is a option with a little bit amount of time that's risky. So we got our initial investment back, and then pretty much we've held since there, because you see here I only had to sell 2 of the 5. So then I was able to hold 3 contracts, and now coming into today, it made that pop. I sold 2 of them at $7.25 each, and then you can see all of the transactions here, and then I have 1 more remaining in the portfolio. So the last one's worth like $4 because it dropped down. And that's the thing, how do you know how much value it's going to gain or lose? Well, at this point there's going to be a little bit of time premium, but it's in the money. We own the right at the stock at 52.50. So if it shoots up $10 tomorrow, that contract will go up $1,000. If the stock drops $2 more tomorrow and goes to 54, that contract will drop at least $2 tomorrow. So for the low price of $25, that means we're able to just pretty much pseudo hold Intel and then play it, you know, dollar for dollar with the shares. So that is the play. Those are the key factors. I want you guys to see what it was, because this is what we've done. And now try to focus in on it. Like I said, Intel was a really slow mover. We saw that news. It was good. It really stuck out. You know, it's a lot different than when you see a random news pop, a random rumor. When you see a big behemoth company move like that, that's just easy to tell that there's actually something going on. So you see, if you really are able to focus in and snipe on the news, you know, not really bite and jump after everything else, and that's going to even lead into our next play, you will see how you can make the most of these types of plays, and you get one of these, it's pretty good. So that is a very nice 3,000%er to start off the year. I'm still in it, so we'll see what happens tomorrow, but that is the first play. As far as the next play now, Big Commerce. They had a really big run up today. I think it is off of a total BS rumor. I really didn't hear it talked about a lot, but some people said it and it shot up a lot. I still have my leaps. I still own the shares, so I like this stock, and I just think they were up today simply because of this little IPO rush that we've seen. We've seen almost every IPO pop, Airbnb, Dash, even Wish, Asana, all of those. So I think it's just part of that. Nonetheless, I will watch them tomorrow, but if you even kind of look at their chart, I'm not gonna lie, it does look a little bit nasty. That's why if there is kind of a rumor on there, I don't like it, but then at the same time, it's like it's not going below here for a reason. But this is a very sketchy point for them. It is kind of shown that it will hang out here, and it takes a while to break these lows, so we'll see. But the point is, how low can it go? And that's what kind of gets scary about it. However, if it does kind of get steam from here and bounce, that will be very good on the turnaround. So I'm going to be watching them. And then finally, the last play I'm going to be looking at tomorrow is DraftKings. $55 is a key level. They have good legislation in place, but it is reminding me of Airbnb earlier this week. week. So if you guys remember, we were talking about Airbnb and I said watch to see if it gets off on a good start on Monday, and then it kind of did a little bit later, but I like how it's looking up here. Again, this is just the key level. It's bringing us back to those highs. You've had a lot of ups and downs since then. You know, if you guys remember the play and how we played it out, we even still got our shares in the long term. So I want to see, but I think you're going to need a lot more momentum, but it already has had a lot of momentum from the earlier legislation. So we'll see what happens, but that one definitely did catch my eye today, but I'm not too jumpy on it. I still have put sells, if you guys even remember that. This was when we had the whole DraftKings saga. You can see over here, we had those May 21 puts. We got 50% on them. They may not even go lower than that because of the time premium, but I got my exposure. So I'll see what I could do on this one and then maybe go from there. But overall, I'm not really in a rush to play it, but I do like where it's at. So I'm still going to keep an eye on them. As far as everything else, though, there's still a couple other plays. Let's clean this up for all my OCD people. I feel you. But I'm going to watch Baba again. They had that news today. It brought the stock up a lot, but I think you are going to need to get some more confirmation. So we're going to see how that plays out. Abivi, we're up 100% on those contracts. Tomorrow is ex-dividend day, so we'll see how it starts to play out. But this is an all-time high for them, or not an all-time high, but a very important high, I would say. Remember, I brought this up a few times, so it's approaching very, very key levels, and you got that fuel from ex-dividend, but you want to see how that might even take away from some of the steam. So the 135s earlier this week, they're still holding up. We got those. Watchlist, that play went up even more. We got another couple $100 doing the IPO break. I was up a lot more, then kind of slipped up. We are in the money, so keep that in mind. Now we got 30%. You would think we'd be making a lot more money, but at the same time, you're only going to get dollar for dollar with it, plus a little bit extra premium. Asana moved up $1.67, 4%, so we got $400 today, but I would say that's probably because of the spread. I was expecting an extra $100. You know, a lot of the gains are coming from earlier, but we are in the money by $1.65. So watch them. I'm still going to be holding and writing that out. We talked about that. Affirm had the IPO. I don't know what the volume was at the end of the day, if it even turned the float here. It actually did just right above it, but I didn't really like how it was trading. It kind of reminded me of DoorDash when it first came out, and well, DoorDash was definitely down before it went up, so it priced a little bit higher, so we'll see. I'm not in a rush. Apple caught my eye just on the broader sense. Again, you saw some of those tech stocks bounce, but Apple is definitely more on the upside of any of this, so even coming into earnings, this could be very key. You know, it's still pricing in a lot of that news. It's pretty much back to the level from that EV announcement, so watch them. I really like them. And then as far as everything else, watch J&J, or there's Wish. Again, all the IPOs I would, but J&J actually had a trial announcement of a one-shot vaccine, you know, one of the vaccines that doesn't need you to keep taking it, which is very different than the ones that exist now. So that was positive. It shot up and came down. You know how some of these vaccine stocks trade, but at the same time, Johnson & Johnson's a slow mover, so this might be an opportunity tomorrow. I'm going to be watching it, but I'm not quite sold. Watch HD. Again, that value rotation, the thing that pissed me off with it, we were up on the HDs. If you guys remember me talking about that 280 level, it hit it, but then it came right back down. So I think it's at a key level, and if we see any more of this bond fiasco back and forth with tech and value, all of that, I want to see how it plays, but those leaps are up. Watch all of the IPOs, like we said, Wish, Airbnb, Dash. They're hitting all-time highs. We're up on all of those shares, so I'm still holding my original positions, 50 shares of Dash, 100 shares of Airbnb. I'm still holding them. I don't want to make them free, at least the Airbnb. Dash, I mean, we're holding it, riding out. I think I'm only up like maybe 5-10%, nothing too crazy, I believe. So we will see. Then watch Qualcomm. I'm still in those, and all the chip makers have been doing good. Again, you saw what happened even with Intel, everything going on with CES, and I would watch it. Shout out to whoever posted that in the comments, baby. Good work. But I like Qualcomm. We're still holding those contracts as well. They went back to break even. So remember, we were down on them. It's a decent sized position, has a decent amount of time, you know, till April. So not quite a leap, but it has some time there. So I'm going to be keeping my eye out for them. And then finally, TLT. This is what you kind of want to see here. Watch the growth stocks and anything that has kind of been affected, but you're seeing today that things balanced out because now TLT went up. This means that bond yields stop going higher. TLT goes up when bond rates go down. So this is bringing an end to that little rally we saw with the rates, with them shooting up. So we'll see how this plays out. But now watch how other factors get affected. The dollar, it says it closed up a little higher, but I think it was lower. So it might hold like a plateau level, but you want to see which bolt gets tightened next. You know, everything from commodities to dollars to bonds, but I still think that the bonds is going to tell us a lot. You do have the Fed meeting. People are saying there's going to be something that's going to happen, but I am not expecting any Fed policy action. If there is anything they could say, they might hint at cutting rates. And I only say that, I don't really believe it. I mean, I'm only saying this simply because if rates kept shooting up and up and up and up, that is their tool to handling it. So they may address that, and that could be negative, and that may cause stuff. But other than that, you will need a policy shift to see anything meaningful. So don't get too jumpy, and I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to love others, baby. Can you do it with God? Can you do it with others? What? The goal loves you. I love you. I will see you in the in the morning. Let's go!